Getting out of debt can feel just impossible, right? But what if the solution wasn't some punishing, soul-crushing budget, but actually a change in your mindset? Well, today we're going to dive into a really powerful approach to financial freedom, inspired by the work of Jerrold Mundis. The journey starts right now.
Yeah, does this feel a little too familiar? That sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach when the mail comes, the constant pressure of what you owe, it can feel like you're literally being buried alive by it all. But here's the thing, and this is so important. The problem isn't just about the numbers on a page, and the solution, believe it or not, isn't another strict budget you're just going to break in a week. The real change, the actual path to freedom, it starts right up here, inside your head. Okay, so if the problem really starts in our heads, then we've got to understand what's going on up there, right? Let's take a look at the real reasons we fall into debt. And spoiler alert, it's almost never just about needing to buy things. I mean, think about it for a second. You have a tough day at work, maybe you have a fight with your partner, or you're just feeling kind of down or bored. What's that first impulse? Yep, for so many of us, this is it. We use spending to change how we feel, kind of like how someone might pour a drink or light a cigarette. It's a coping mechanism, plain and simple. But it's a really destructive one. I mean, just look at this list. We spend to feel better. We buy something new to soothe our anxiety. We go on a shopping spree as a reward for a hard week. We buy something nice to fight off feeling lonely. And when this becomes a habit, we're not just buying stuff anymore. We're actively and maybe unconsciously creating debt. And then what happens when the bills from all that emotional spending start showing up? Well, that's when this kicks in, the ostrich syndrome. We just stick our heads in the sand. Mundis actually talks about people who have closets and shopping bags literally stuffed full of unopened bills. It's like, as long as you don't actually see them, you can pretend they're not real. But they are. All right, so we get the traps. We see the psychology behind it all. So how do we actually get out? The foundation for all of this, the real change, it doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your mindset. This first one is so important. Please hear this. Your worth as a human being has absolutely nothing to do with your bank balance. The moment you stop beating yourself up, you can actually start solving the problem. Separating who you are from what you owe is the critical first step to taking back control. Now this is a total game changer. That feeling of hopelessness, that pit in your stomach that says you'll never get out of this, it feels real, but it isn't reality. It's just an emotion. It's not a fact. Just because you feel like the situation is impossible does not mean it actually is. And that brings us to the final piece of this mindset puzzle. You have to start seeing debt for what it really is, a problem that can be solved. It's not a life sentence. It's not a moral failing. It is simply a temporary financial situation that you absolutely have the power to change. Okay, so with that new mindset, we can finally stop hiding, right? It's time to stop being an ostrich and start acting. It's time to turn on the lights and get a clear, and I mean completely judgment-free picture of your finances. First things first, we're ditching the word budget. I mean, just think about it. The word is loaded with all these negative ideas, right? Restriction, guilt, not having enough. Instead, we're going to create a spending record. See the difference? The goal isn't to restrict you, it's to give you knowledge, clarity, and most importantly, power. And seriously, it is this simple. You get a little notebook or an app on your phone, and you track everything. The coffee, the pack of gum, the bus fare, every single penny. But the most crucial part here is step 3, no judgment. You are not doing this to beat yourself up about your spending. You're like a scientist, just observing data. You're finally turning on the lights to see what's actually in the room. All right, the next step. This one's tough, I'm not gonna lie. It's time to face the monster. You're gonna make a list of every single person, every company you owe money to, and exactly how much. Is it scary? Yes. But hiding from it is what gives it all its power. Knowing the exact size of the problem is the only way you can ever start to solve it. Okay, now you have the data. You have clarity. You know where your money has been going, and you know exactly what you owe. With that knowledge, you can finally shift from just reacting to the past to proactively designing your future. And you do that with a spending plan. And this is where the spending plan comes in. It is not about restriction. It's about conscious choice. You use the data you gathered from your spending record to intentionally direct your money where you want it to go, making sure your plan actually improves your quality of life, not makes it worse. Now, a huge part of making any plan work is dealing with the tools that got us into trouble in the first place. And let's be crystal clear about the biggest one. A credit card makes going into debt absolutely frictionless and instantaneous. It's basically a financial hand grenade that you carry around in your wallet.
So, what's the alternative? Simple. You use money you actually have. Cash is always king. A debit card is a close second, but, and this is a big but, only if you call your bank and make sure you have opted out of any overdraft privilege. Trust me, that's not a privilege, it's a debt trap.
So, after all this work, what's the point? Where are we headed? Because let me tell you, just getting out of debt isn't the finish line. It's the starting line for a completely new way of life, a life beyond debt. And this, right here, is the ultimate goal. The real aim isn't just to get to a zero balance. It's to be prosperous. And prosperity isn't about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's a condition of thriving, of steady improvement, of having more than enough. The goal is not just to survive without debt, but to live a life of abundance and real peace of mind.
So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. Just imagine, for a second, all the mental and emotional energy you currently spend worrying about debt. What if all of that energy was suddenly freed up tomorrow? What would you build? What could you create? That is the future that's waiting for you.